Hey guys, it's the 13th of March 2014 and welcome to a brand new series, the third series of 3 Laps 3 Topics with me, Andrew the Blade. If you've clicked on the video, which you obviously have, if you're listening to this, thank you for doing that, much appreciated. If you're new to 3 Laps 3 Topics, basically the setup is we're going to have a 3-lap race showing on the video here, and I'm going to talk about 3 different topics in the world of motorsport. Seeing as the F1 starts this weekend, we've got a bit of a I think we're going to go 6-part series. So yeah, I think I should be able to cover it in 6 parts. 6-part series starting off with the new F1 season. So I'm going to go through each driver and my thoughts on each driver and how they're looking going into this season of F1. And we're going to kick off with my incredibly high-tech bag here with all the names of the drivers in. I'm going to choose one driver out. Who's it going to be? Who's I'm going to talk about first? It's going to be Valterri Bottas. So, Bottas massively impressed me last season. Not only with his speed, but also his maturity behind the wheel, which I think you can come to expect with Finnish drivers. If you think of like Raikkonen when he first came on the scene, he had maturity beyond his years. I think Bottas is going to have an even better year this year. Williams are looking good in testing, looking reliable as well, which I think definitely for the first 5 or 6 races is going to be important. I'm actually going to tip Bottas for a podium in Melbourne. And yeah, I'm really enjoying the fact that Williams have got what seems to be quite a good car. Obviously we've not seen any competitive times yet, but they seem fast, and I think Bottas is really going to grow this year. He did a brilliant, as I say, brilliant debut season, but I think with Massa alongside him as well, a much more experienced and levelled head alongside him in the Williams garage, I think that's going to bring even more out of Bottas as well. So yeah, that's Valtteri Bottas and my thoughts on him. And do you know what, I'm going to also tip him to get top 10 in the championship as well. A top 10 finish in the championship come Abu Dhabi. So lap 2, who's the second name that we're going to get out here? It is Kamui Kobayashi. Now, if you're a regular viewer of my channel, you know that I follow quite a bit of World Endurance Championship, which Kobayashi was in last year, and he did all right. I think it was quite clear that he's not perhaps suited to endurance racing. And I don't think he was particularly enamoured to the championship, especially if you contrast him or compare him to, say, Bruno Senna, who was in the same class as him. In some ways I'm surprised that he's back. I didn't like the fact that Kobayashi got dropped by Sauber a couple of years ago, but at first instincts I thought, ooh, it's a bit of a surprise that Caterham took him on. I think it's an absolute coup that Caterham have been able to get him on board. But then you think about the not requirements but preference for drivers to be shorter and lighter. I think Kobayashi's probably got in off, not fully off the back of that, but I think it's definitely helped. But it's good to see him back. If he can keep it on the road as well, if he can, I think he's a great overtaker, but sometimes he can be a bit overzealous in his moves. I think he's going to be the man to score Caterham's first points. Whether it be at Melbourne or not, I'll probably come on to that a bit later, but it's a good move by Caterham to get Kobayashi back, and I'm glad to see him back in F1. Last lap, and it's a biggie. It's a big name that I've just pulled out. It's the 4-time reigning world champion Sebastian Vettel. Now, I'm not the biggest Sebastian Vettel fan, but I've got a lot of respect for him. You don't win 4 championships on the trot without being a hell of a driver. But I think this is probably, in terms of his what's the word that I'm looking for? His legacy, that's the word. His legacy in Formula 1, this is his most important year to date. How is he going to deal with this Red Bull car when it's most likely not going to be getting to the end of races in the top 3? I still think Red Bull are going to have a lot of pace. In qualifying I think they'll be good, but it's whether they're going to be able to finish the races with that speed that's going to be the telling thing for them. especially in the first 5-6 races of the season. You can't rule Vettel out for say having a winless year. I think Vettel will win races this year. Red Bull will turn this around. They will win races this year in the hands of Vettel. But yeah, I'd quite like to see Vettel still do well, because it does bug me, even as a non-Vettel fan, that you get some people saying, "Oh, he doesn't deserve to be a 4 times world champion." And I think he is gonna shut up some of those critics this year, which is going to be very interesting to see. So that's the end of part 1. Hope you enjoyed this little classics race. I haven't done classics in a while, so it was good to crack these old cars back out again. So next up we're gonna talk about another another 3 drivers. I don't know who they're gonna be, but there's 19 drivers left in my bag of many names. So we'll see who comes out next. I'll probably stick a little annotation to part 2 on the screen now. 2 other videos that you might be interested in. On the left is me having a bit of a karting race, and on the right is a recent Vortex Racing League's highlights reel. I've been Andrew the Blade. Please subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later for part 2.